how's it going? It's me, Yoko from Japan. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm live from Fukuoka Prefecture, Japan. 30 minutes later than the set time again. Sorry for that. It was so hard to wake up. Get up. Like, I was awake, but I'm like, yeah, I can get ready in a minute. Snooze. I can get up. I still can't do it. Snooze. That was my morning. So sorry. It's not professional. But that's why I am not running to become a politician. I can't wake up in the morning. I know it's a lame reason, but hello. DeSantis. Yeah, I need to learn about him and how you guys are seeing him. Okay, already seeing comments. Prime Minister Suga has been more active with allies than I expected. He has been a pleasant surprise in that area for me. Just my thought, that's good to hear. Yeah, he's the continuation of our former administration, which is Abe administration. He was the chief. He was chief of the cabinet. Secretary? I always forget that term. The words are so difficult in English. Oh, nice face right there. Awesome music intro, thank you! Ohio! Ohio! Get out of bed. I got it. Yep. Hi from Gold Coast, Australia. I'm on vacation. What? You are? That's amazing. But you're on a vacation and you're watching my live stream. I don't know if that's a good thing or I don't know. But thank you so much for super chat always. It's I really appreciate it. Like, this is what I do. Like, I talk to you guys, and by talking to you guys, I'm actually speaking for my country. I'm the only conservative who is speaking darkly to people in the world, like this. So yeah, thank you for your support. And Biden didn't greet Suga at first. Really? Just send the VP. Oh yeah. Did you guys see our prime minister meeting Kamala Harris? Like, as if she's the president. It's really a bizarre picture. Yeah. And my take was something that I already tweeted, but it's like she's getting ready to become the president of the United States. Because, to me, I feel like, Biden can be replaced any minute because he's old and he has scandalous things behind. And so if there's a time that Kamala Harris does become the president of the United States, then they can use the picture of, Kamala Harris meeting our prime minister. They can use that picture to say, like, oh, our friendship had already begun at this point, to look back. And so, we have a great relationship since then, and Japan-US alliance, and that's the flow, the time flow that I'm seeing. So yeah. And okay. Don't girl, I haven't been able to watch you lately, so what do you think about his reception from the Biden regime? His reception, meeting our prime minister? Oh, actually, I will show you all the newspapers reporting, but before that, what is your reaction to Biden calling Matsuyama a Japanese boy? I honestly, I think that people are politicizing everything a little too much. I'm in the gaming field at the same time as political field. I talk to gamers all the time now, and I see teenagers and people in the 20s, and I think of them like they are literally boys and girls, but they're grown-ups. People in the 20s are already adults and they're responsible for the society, but I think of them as boys. And I even heard this, someone in the 70s or 80s, someone was holding this political event among the conservatives, and this really old man called our national diet member a female who is in her 50s. He called her a girl. And everybody was like, what? But we can understand, like, it's like Biden's age, and that can happen. Because from their perspective, everybody that's younger than them can become boys and girls. I don't know, maybe Americans are overreacting. Like, that's how I see it. And that is because it's America, So if I was American, I might have a different reaction to that. But as a Japanese, we respect the elderly people and we understand where they stand and their perspective. So I don't know. I don't know why it's a controversy, to be honest. But I don't know. It's not appropriate. I'm not saying that it's appropriate, but I can understand, like, that happens, But just with that in mind, maybe it just means that Biden is so old, who can and he can't even understand where he stands as a president, and he should be careful of what he says. So that's what I think. Oh, let me read it. That is to love. I always forget. Just keep fighting. That's it. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat always. Thank you. Yes, I'm here for you. And let me wait. Okay. Let me show you the newspaper today. Ta-da! From today. Done. It's a picture. Can you see the picture? It's Suga and Biden. And it says, let me read it for you today. I get confused with the Japan-US statement. Clearly stating Taiwan. This is Taiwan. Yeah, so they, our leaders clearly mentioned the importance of Taiwan. What did it say? Oh yeah. So they published or issued a joint statement, and they said that Taiwan Strait, the peace and stability of Taiwan Strait is important. Yeah, they emphasize on that, and they will look. It's like they will encourage the peaceful solution for, like, both coasts of Taiwan Strait. And that, so they basically wrote about Taiwan in the statement, in the joint statement between Japan and the US. And that's like 52 years, did you say? It's the first time since 1969 since our Prime Minister Sato and President Nixon time. So it's historical that they wrote about it together. Yeah, and let me show you. It's like this newspaper today is so interesting. It's full of this conference. And it's so ironic that American people are not even aware that we did have a press conference together and that we did have a summit together. Like, people don't even know. Like, oh my gosh, it's all over the place here in Japan and Asia, throughout Asia. But Americans are so busy with everything, like other things. Against China agreed to unite or cooperate, and Hong Kong, Uyghur human rights issues concerned about the human rights issues regarding Hong Kong and Uyghur. And over here, oh yeah, this is important. The first face-to-face leader meeting, and they referred to abduction problem, like by North Korea, of Japanese people and Senkaku Islands. it's amazing. It's actually good. Biden is doing a good job. And it's surprising. It's rather that America is contributing a lot in Asia. And it before Biden or Trump, it was that Japan was encouraging America to, come to Asia and, fight against China. But now it's like America is full in and Japan is so behind. And it's like Biden is rather encouraging us to, work together. So, I mean, that's, what Democrats do to, I guess for conservatives in the US, it's like there's a balance where you can't break, that you can't interfere about foreign issues too much. And I understand that, but the issues about China is something that actually directly threatens your country. So it's good that Biden is, this way. Do you read up to down or left to right? It's up from up to down like this, and also we read in the same way as English from when we go vertical. Is it vertical or vertical? No, horizontal. When we go this way, we read from the left to right, same as English. But back in the day, it was from right to left. But we change it to, I don't know, maybe to adjust to English or something. And there are a lot of important and interesting points. Yeah, so they will not tolerate towards towards China's actions that violate, international order. And they we have all these universal values that we agree on with America, and it's amazing. And also they mentioned free and open in the Pacific. And that's a policy that both Japan and America has been having since Trump administration, like Abe Trump time. And so it's good. And they're focusing on ASEAN and South Korea too. Yeah, it's great. And there's this key word like change of status quo by force. Change of status quo by force. That's the key word that our government often use, and which means is that we have all this premise and rules that we shouldn't violate, but China does by force. So we are against it, and that's something that both Japan and America agree on. So that's good. And Biden's words also. I think it's from when he had a press conference for the first time. He talked about how this is a fight between democracy and autocracy, and freedom and hegemony and so on. It's been the key words. So it's so great that we are on the same page, and I'm also glad that so this is the first meeting for both of us. For Biden, it's the first. No, it's not the first for our prime minister. Our prime minister went to ASEAN. For Biden, it's the first. Our prime minister is the first foreign leader to actually meet in person, and that's a diplomatic win. Or like just by that. It's not other countries, it's Japan, and it means a lot, and it also for America, it shows how important all these issues against China are. So it's great. And all this newspaper today, I can't really show you. It's all about this summit, seriously. there's this editorial. This is Sankei Shimbun, by the way. This is like the only conservative-leaning newspaper in Japan, Sankei Shimbun. And there's this editorial here talking about how Japan keeps saying all these nice things against China, but never does a thing. So it's like our newspaper is pointing that out. Also, there's wait, this way. There's a like the picture of our leaders and so on, including Taiwan. Yeah, Taiwan is really the key because, you know, CCP's 100-year anniversary is coming in July. So they need something to celebrate. And for that, I think that they already have all these things, like they took over Hong Kong completely and so on. And so, yeah, until then, I don't know if, you know, many things will happen. But next year, Xi Jinping is supposed to be re-elected. So for that, Xi Jinping is actually fighting inside of China as well, because inside of China, there are lots of people, like powerful people that want to take his position, right? So there are always power struggles. So in order to fight against that, he has to have all this accomplishment. So he might use either Senkaku Islands, like our territory in Japan, or they could try to, you know, get Taiwan. And it's probably not a Taiwan island that you picture, this round island, but there are two key islands. Is it even like the solid island? Like there are two. It's called, what is it called? Kinmen Islands and also Matsu Islands. There are like two important places, and those islands are actually closer to China. So those islands might be the ones, you know. And also the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command, the top of that has been saying that, you know, Taiwan is in danger against China. So that's the real thing that the military top person is talking about it. So it's a real thing. So it might happen. So yeah. Yep. Sorry, I keep talking, but it's really important. And if you have questions, let me know. What? Yoko should have an ASMR channel? I could listen to her speak for hours. Really? Oh, so nice of you. Hello from Japan. Oh, yay. Project Veritas just exposed CNN propagandist that was responsible for trying to get Trump out of office with lies and fear. Ooh, yeah, they expose they expose a lot of stuff. I am interested in all the things that they report. I can't tell though from another country what's going on. Just reading. Olympic is looking iffy now. What is iffy? Is that a word? Whoa, it's a word. Oh, that's a cool word. That's so, yeah, I'll use that word, iffy. I learned a new word. Yeah. What? Japan still has newspapers, of course. Why? And yeah, we love all this newspaper, and also we have political magazines, like paper magazines, or it's like a book looking. Nice quality, Japan quality, made in Japan. So it's good. But also, this is the third page of Sankei Shimbun today. Again, it's a picture of Biden And what do you notice seeing this picture, Biden and Suga? Do you notice anything? My instant reaction was something that this newspaper actually talked about too, especially because I'm a woman. They wear the same colored mask, same tone suit, and same color ish ties. Like they're coordinated. They're looking cute together. So like I'm like, oh, they discussed this, like what to wear beforehand. Like I could tell just by a glance. It was cool. But it even talks about here, like blue tie and blue ribbon. The blue ribbon is something that our prime minister wears. I mean, everybody wears. Like a lot of National Diet members wear. But I actually have that myself, but it's a badge that you put on your chest to what's the word? It's like to show our concern and will against North Korea. Like it's about the abduction problem, and it's a blue badge because it's the sky one, right? Not the ocean. I don't even remember. It's probably the blue sky. Like it continues to North Korea. Like North Korea is right there to us, right? Across the sea and across the ocean. Basic grammar confuses me, but yeah, they're right there, and we know that they are abducted by North Korea, so we want to rescue them, and we wear the badge. But yeah, it's talking about that. This is actually pathetic in a way of Japan, that we want America's contribution to the North Korea's abduction problem continuously since the Trump administration. President Trump had a meeting with the family of the abductees. Is it abductees? The abducted people. Yeah, former President Trump he was so amazing. He listened to the families talk, and also talked about the abduction problem at the UN. And yeah, but Biden too, probably he mentioned the problem too, I think. And it's interesting though that okay, so it says here it's Yoshi Yoshi and Joe. First name basis. Yoshi and Joe. It's so cool that our prime minister actually has a good name. Yoshi is like Mario, Yoshi. Well, yeah. And Joe, to show they are using the first name of each other to show that they are close to each other. And then also there's a picture of them having lunch together. It's a small picture. Wait, can you see? I don't know if you can see, but they're having lunch together, and they forgot to eat. They were served a burger, but because Biden is American, how stereotypical. Burger. And yeah, they talk a lot. And yeah, this article says that they have a mutual feeling that they are alike to each other. And it's not the policies, but how they built up their career from the start. So it's something that I was relieved to see. The policies are so much different, but yeah, it's cool that we share the same. And I'm actually impressed by Biden administration. I didn't think that they would be this hardcore against China. And like the Democratic Party side is so tricky to me because they are like especially if you imagine people like Hillary Clinton, you know that people like that or Obama, they are close to China and they want to do business with China, like even like weapons and so on. But Biden, Biden is the current situation is really, really horrible, like especially the human rights issues. Like that's the take of liberals, the human rights issues. For us, conservatives in Japan, it's rather the national security issue. But for Democrats, it's a human rights issue. And of course, we care about human rights too, but it's like where we come from is the national security. So, but yeah, so it's very interesting now that because this is such a human rights issue now, because CCP has crossed a line. They have concentration camps and they are using, and they even take out all these organs from people that are alive, like they call them prisoners and they put them into the camps and they have all this information about everybody that is put in the camps. And so when there's a match of the patient that the CCP accepts, then their organs can be their organs get taken out. And yeah, and it's a horrible business that CCP has been doing. It's called organ harvesting, and there's even a documentary about it, I believe. So how long has Yoshi been in office? Oh man, how long has it been? Was it? Wait, when? I don't even remember. Let me look it up. Wait, does it say? Oh yeah, September. Last year, September. Yeah, I kind of remember it was September. Yes. And we are supposed to have the national elections soon too. I mean, this year we are having a national level election, but it depends on it's something that our prime minister decides when. And we are expecting though that it will be after the Olympics. But we are not sure. It really depends on how things work in around in Tokyo. Yoko, do you think it's time for Japan to declare independence from the United States, or should Japan remain a U.S. colony for the foreseeable future? It's ideally we need to get independent, but it's not gonna be like, oh, we're gonna get independent, boom. It's not. I don't think it can ever happen because Japanese people are traditionally and culturally, we don't like to change. We are passive. Like culturally, we are very passive. And when we want and that's probably the reason why we are somewhat conservative as a nation in general. And yeah, we don't like changes. And it's so the problem that I see politically is that I'm a conservative, and our conservative people, we respect Japan-US alliance. Like, man, Japan-US alliance. Next stage is literally what this is saying. Like, Japan-US alliance. So people love this Japan-US alliance, and we understand that it's something that we that has been protecting us, especially the nuclear umbrella, right? And it's among our community, it's said that it is realistic that we team up with America and we stay in the nuclear umbrella and so on. And we do understand also that our society is very, very left leaning because we lost the war, and all the policies that we have like our what we call post-war regime. We are it's talking about the World War II, and it's still we are in the post-war regime, post-World War II regime, and so people are brainwashed, and it's so like anti-Japan. Everything that we are taught in school, it's so anti-Japan. And so we are taught that if we have the military, then we will try to expand in Asia and, you know, do massacres and so on. That's seriously what Japanese people believe. And as conservatives, we want to change that, and we have been trying to change the education and everything, but the left has gained power in the media and education and even in the national diet, and it's been very tough. And so it's partially, I think, that conservatives are kind of given up in a way, even though we do have the ideal picture, like how we want to revise the constitution, or rather we want to write the full constitution by ourselves. We want to have the military, we want to have the nuclear weapon, but we can't even talk about those in our country. Isn't that crazy? Like Abe administration wanted to revise the constitution in order to have the military and everything, to be independent, to put a period to the post-war regime. We wanted to, revise the constitution, but the opposition party is so powerful, or it's just how our politics work. But they didn't even let our governing or ruling parties discuss the issues with the opposition party. Like they have a committee to discuss, but that didn't even open, and when they did, it was only like 30 minutes or something, or what, 10 minutes. It's like such a short time that nothing was being talked about. So that's where we stand. So it's like, oh, independence, that sounds nice, but we know that America wants us to, stand on our feet, right? Like America has a lot of problems domestically and internationally, and we understand that, but that's how we are today. So so sad. So sad indeed. Biden's been in office for these 7 years. Yeah, isn't that crazy? It's like a half a century. But it's interesting though. My Japanese friend, my conservative Japanese friend, it was surprised that Biden became the president, because they're like, America is like I don't know if you like the concept of equality, but like it's like when we look at America, especially compared to our country, it's like individualism and equality, and young people they get a jobs, and over here in Asia, it's not just Japan, but over here in Asia, it's like always the older people, and we, like young people, have to just obey to the older generations and so on, and our opinions are ignored all the time. So and when we look at America, we have the expectation that America is different, right? But we learned that, oh, Biden becomes a president. He has been in office for 47 years, and he has all these ties and money, and he has just generally he has the power. So it was kind of surprising, that America is like that. Yeah, Biden is China. Probably that's why, though, that he is going strongly against China, where we can see, like if he's a puppet of China in a way, but if if he publicly is a pet of China, then he might lose the position, and I think that he knows it. So maybe that's why he is going extra like against China than he would be without all these problems, if you know what I mean. Oh, super chat. Joni, thank you for your super chat. Being conservative is not such a bad thing. We just balance ourselves with some of it and the other. Too much can corrupt you like radical leftists, or is it leftists? Is that written by intention? Thank you for your super chat. Yeah, I mean, like, we do welcome changes, but it's just gradual, so that we don't there won't be accidents, you know. So with that being said, though, when we look at what is it called, Green New Deal in America and so on, like what AOC pictures is like, yes, it sounds nice, but how are you gonna switch? I can't do that thing. How can that happen like quickly? Like, bleh, right? It's so yes, we balance ourselves. Yes, I agree. Let me see your comments. His son is a puppet of Xi Jinping. Yeah. What has happened to that problem? Like, shouldn't we should be hearing about that issue more. all I see is the sexual pictures of him. And I'm like, I don't have to see that, I just want to know the ties with China and how it was during Obama administration and how it's expanding and stuff. That's something I want to hear. And I don't have to see him half naked or something, or naked. Yeah, it's so weird. Yeah. And I wish that the leftists would dig into that scandal more, because as I said, like it's rather, I am a political activist here in Japan, and I work with like-minded people in the world, not just America, but people in other Asian nation states, especially those who are oppressed by CCP. And also we have allies in Europe, especially the UK and so on. And the surprising thing is that my husband and I are the minority in our network internationally. The network that we are, my husband and I are in, is actually liberal, and it's not conservative. And yeah, and they share the same values as us, actually. Like, we care about freedom and liberty and democracy and so on. And I know that I have to be careful. Like, you guys taught me that I should be careful with using the word democracy, but we are using it just to say against autocracy or dictatorship and totalitarianism and that sort of stuff. So it's not that we want democracy, we are using that to show that we are against those. But yeah, so we have the same standards internationally, and they don't even care, the liberals that we team up with internationally. They don't care that we are conservatives. We are here for the same aim, to solve the human rights issues by CCP. And yeah, as a conservative, again, it's more about national security. But if we focus on the human rights issues, then it benefits us, like, politically. So it's, of course, we are genuinely helping all these agents, but you know what I mean. So yeah, and then what I'm trying to say is that all these liberal people that we are teaming up with internationally, they're really hardcore against CCP, like more than us. They are so good at what they do, and they are so determined to help all these people. So they're strongly against CCP, and they are telling CCP to stop bullying all these people. And so they are, what that means is that those liberals are on the side of Biden, right? They were against, I don't know how their logic is structured, but our friends, international friends, were against Trump somehow, even though he was fighting against CCP. And Donald Trump is the man that ended terrorism and changed the world dynamics to shift to the war against CCP. But somehow our liberal friends in the world didn't like Trump. I don't know how they think, honestly, but whatever. Like it's not even about, probably not even about politics. They just didn't like him, like for his attitude or whatever. But yeah. But so by contrast, and also because Biden is the guy from the Democratic Party, they support Biden, right? And so the supporters of Biden are strongly against CCP right now. And so it's a good thing that all these liberal people have this common sense and fighting against CCP. And by that, they are actually pressuring Biden administration internationally. People on the same side as him are pressuring him. So that's something that I think is a good move right now. And so what I think is important is that, in Japan, and I noticed that it's the same in America or elsewhere too, but as conservative or people on the right side, we despise or look down on leftists because of the logic that they have, which doesn't make sense and so on. But there are people, there are liberal or the leftist people with common sense. They are just mingled among the crazy ones on the left side. There are good-hearted, good-minded people with like good brain. they can there are good people there, like very intellectual ones. And what we have to do is to team up with them, like people from the right side and the left side. We cooperate together so that all these super extreme leftist crazy ones, crazy leftists like AOC and Bernie Sanders and people like that, get excluded from our discussion. So that's something that I want to do, to create this foundation for political discussions, that people should just stop labeling each other. It's just, what CCP wants is division. They always try to divide and conquer, right? Our government and people, they say that our government, like wherever you are, communists tell you that government or rich people is bad, right? And we working for the citizens, right? And let's take back our power and that sort of things, to divide and conquer. And also left and right, as I said, just like I said, is people on the right side and left side can work together, but they agitate the political discussions. They emphasize all these differences that we have. Like racism is a typical example that we, in order to, like I said, in the last live stream, in order to solve this racism issues, especially in America, we are supposed to educate people that, like, hey, we can have, like, regardless of our skin of color, or skin, we can have like common values, and we can be the same. We can run the same country together and so on. We can educate the common things so that we won't be scared of each other and so on. And we can feel that we are one family. But instead of that, leftists or communists always try to emphasize that there are lots of differences, and that when people focus on that, we are like, oh, people are different, oh, danger, and oh, they're enemies, and people start to fight. So that's something that the tactic that communists use, and also internationally too. They try to divide Japan and America. Right now, Russia is doing that so much. Russia has been talking negatively about America in Japanese. Yeah, especially the embassy here. Yeah, they talk about the atomic bombs and whatnot, and it's so ridiculous that our conservatives fall in the trap of Russia. Like, oh yes, that's what we want to hear. Go Russia, right? When they talk about all these historical disputes with America, conservative people or right wing people here I'm like, yeah, Russia understands or something. Even though Russia was the real, like Soviet Union was a real bad guy. So crazy. But yeah, so that's what's happening. So Russia is, even today, they are trying to divide Japan and the US. And I know that though. So yeah. Interesting. Thank you. The only way to stop racism is to stop talking about it. That's that too. but I don't know. Racism is something that has been happening for thousands of years, and we just can't stop. I mean, by to stopping talking about it means is that I guess that it means that we accept that there is racism and it's natural instinct, and if we can just agree on that, then I guess we're okay. But people just can't accept that. How the problem of leftists is that they can't accept that we are all humans and we have instincts and natural desires and natural, I don't know, feistiness. Is that a word? That we are feisty and so on. So it's something that we need to, understand, or accept. But people on the left side, they don't like that. Good luck, Yoko. Oh, thank you. We are one. Yeah. US Democrats have no unified value system. The Democrats are mixed with too many groups. I agree. So in order to fight against the left side, though, we need to do the same as what communists are doing. Divide them. By teaming up with the good ones, we can weaken the left power, and also yeah, I think that we should exclude all these crazy ones, together. Because I think the leftist people can be like, some of them can be very intellectual and they have pride or ego. So they don't want to be mixed up with crazy ones like AOC. So that's something that we need to do, in my opinion. The establishment didn't like Trump. Biden is the establishment. Yeah. You were a liberal only a year ago? Whoa. Your life is changing. It's amazing. I was leaning towards liberalism myself too. Like growing up in Japan, as I said, we learn all these bad things about Japan, and also I was studying English, obviously. So what that means is that I kept hearing all these negative things about my own country, and I hated my own country, Japan. I was saying that I hate my country. I kept saying that. And but things changed when I was in the late 20s. Yeah, it's like what? Almost 10 years ago. I'm getting older. I'm getting old. Anyway, it's 15 minutes now. I have to go in 10 minutes. Leave any questions. Who do you think is a dominant one, Mr. Hunter or Miss Fan Fan? Oh, Fan Fan. Yeah, what has happened to that? Fan Fan. Yeah. Yeah, it's so crazy. I don't know. Hunter Biden is a weird guy. If you were real, you would apologize to South Korea. Why? They're making up all this propaganda that, like, it's a propaganda made up by, like, North. It's like it's communist based. All this accusation against Japan from South Korea, it's actually pushed by China traditionally. It's like it started in the 30s. If you go back, really go back, it's before the World War II to demonize Japan and so forth. And they just have this propaganda machine. They take over all these organizations and attack Japan. It's been going on since before the World War II, and we have been just following the same pattern. And yeah, and the accusations, especially we have the comfort women issue, and it is based on a novel. It's a novel. All right, and the author said that it's a fictional novel, and everybody knows it. And the newspaper that reported on that decades ago said that the article talking about the comfort women issue was incorrect. So I don't know why people are fans. People have this fantasy, right, that Japan did horrible things and so on, but it's all fictional. Like, at least like on a national level, there were problems. It's a wartime. Japanese people had lots of problems too, but there were lots of human trafficking and so on among South Koreans too, and there are like all this evidence backing up. And what we need to know though is that our issues between Japan and South Korea was already solved in 1965. There was a treaty, and we gave the like enormous amount of money to South Korea, and that's how their country could develop, because we gave them the money, like double the annual budget of South Korea at the time. But they call it a miracle because the government hides the fact that we gave them money. South Koreans don't know. And there's all these things historically, and like, why would we apologize? And South Koreans wanted the annexation too back in the day, because South Korea is geographically such in a difficult place next to China, and yeah, it's difficult. So like it's again, it's been going on for thousands of years. South Korea's history is so like unfortunate. It's in a way unfortunate geographically. So I don't know why. Like it's like I want South Korea to apologize to us, like degrading us for what we didn't commit. Yeah, and it's not like I'm not justifying everything that our country did, but it's like, don't accuse us for what we didn't do. You know what I mean? Okay. Libertarians, not leftists. No, liberals. Our friends are liberals. I don't know. Oh my god, what South Korea? The person needs to read Michael Young's book. Yeah, Michael Young. Yes, definitely check him out. Yeah, it's not convincing when I say things like that, because I'm a Japanese, like especially like a conservative, like proud patriot of Japan. So it's not convincing. But if you go to Michael Young, Michael Young is the best. If you read his books or his posts, and he's on Twitter too, so you can ask him questions. Yeah, he's amazing on historical issues like this. He researched so much. Yeah, libertarians are different. Yeah. When I talk about liberals, I'm talking about liberals. Yes, yes, I know that. What? Japan would be wise to ally with South Korea. Yes. Please tell that to South Korea. South Korea is, oh man, but South Korean situation right now, like politically, is so awful right now. President Moon is a communist. He's a communist. South Korea has a communist president right now, and that's something that the Western countries have to know. And the conservative people have been fighting so hard in South Korea, and because Moon is so bad, we Japanese people, like, generally, like, internet right wings are still dumb. Like, please don't mind them, but there are the minority among our conservative community like myself, who realize how bad the situation is in South Korea right now. That Moon is seriously trying to unify North and South Korea, not to make North Korea South Korea, but to make South Korea North Korea. You know what I mean? They want to unify the peninsula to make it a Kim, what's that word? I forget. Like a kingdom kind of stuff. Yeah. So they want to. So Moon is like basically the spy of North Korea, and he's the president now. And he has been changing the system of South Korea a lot, and he is also trying to kick out the US military, and it's been awful. But I think they had elections, like a mayor level, like 2 places, Seoul and somewhere else. Was it Busan? Yeah, and things are looking good for that. But we need to kick out Moon. But yeah, through all these things that Moon has been doing in South Korea, like he is building the system to become a dictator, to do whatever he wants. And we can see that from another country, like over here in Japan. And because of that, we realize, like, oh, conservative people there are fighting so hard. And there are, I don't think there are many, because of the education there. Like, they are so anti-Japan historically. They like tourism and so on. Like, they love Japan, like, for our modern culture and so on. But when you talk about history, South Koreans hate us because of the education. But but there are the minority, especially young people. This is something actually I learned in CPAC in South Korea. CPAC has been happening internationally, you guys. It's been happening. CPAC, like ACU. Yeah, CPAC is in Japan, and now they had in South Korea. And also ACU people and JCU people flew to Hong Kong, so they had in Hong Kong. And I believe that did they do that in Brazil too? And also they have people in Europe. And so, yeah. And when I actually got the opportunity to visit South Korea I believe that was in 2019. We went there and listened to the South Korean conservatives. Like, it was my first time. And they, especially the young leaders, were talking about how they realize that the policies that they have taken by that time, like being anti-America and being anti-Japan, it hasn't benefited, or it hasn't worked well for South Korea. That the South Korean conservatives are realizing that anti-Japan, anti-America, not good, right? So now, even though they have, I understand, like in each country we have emotions, like historically, but South Koreans, there are young people, probably the minority still, but there are this a group of people that are realizing that we need to go over that, like, and to unite to fight against socialism and communism. And yeah, it was such a great opportunity to hear that, because I had no idea that they I didn't even like expect that there can be South Koreans that can actually talk to us and unite with us. But there are that people are realizing, oh, like we were divided by political intention. So now we understand what's going on. So now we are teaming up. I have a few close South Korean friends that can speak fluent Japanese too. So it's really nice. Yeah. If China, who cares if North Korea takes over South Korea? Who cares if China takes over Japan? Give me one reason why a single American life is worth it. Because hegemony. North Korea is basically China, they're the puppet of China. Why would you? My question is rather, why would you expand China? Like, why would you grow your enemy that's directly attacking your nation right now? Like, this is the if you look at this as like politically, you get kind of distracted, but you see the world map behind me. We're having this territorial game. Which side is like, which country goes to which side, like we have this. We've been having this, and China has been they've been attacking America in many different ways. Like, they are cyber attacking, they are stealing your intellectual property, they use all this labor, like forced labor, like all these Uyghurs and so on, and they make them work to boost their economy, to get better than you, and when they have more power than you, have no choice but to listen to them. And when you listen to them, you won't have your country anymore. So I don't know. To me, it's like the question is so ridiculous that if you but if that's the common feeling, if that is the common feeling of like normal ordinary American citizen, then Americans are in danger. That's what I think. Oh yes, a vast majority of Koreans currently in their 40s and 50s are left-wing, while 20s and 30s and above 60s are conservative. Yes, that's the dynamic that I heard. Yep. So I am right now hopeful, and also I realized that I need to make friends with South Korean people. It's so difficult though in Japan, especially conservative. Yeah. Our people, especially people online, are not, they don't have common sense. Oh, I need to go, like right now. There are Muslims in Japan. Yes. I have Japanese Muslim friends. And also, like, there's this cute Muslim couple. Like, they are both Japanese. But it's not like they go against our tradition, but they are just by choice. They just want to be Muslims, and it's cool. And also, we have a lot of Uyghur friends, and they are like people, especially Americans, I think. They when they hear Muslims, they depict Muslims in Middle East, like very intense Muslims. But Muslims in Asia, we are more open and tolerant, and we are open, and so it's very different. Like, they like to drink, you know. You're not supposed to drink, but they drink, and yeah, like they're happy people, and they like all this, like of course Muslim people have their rituals and so on, but it really depends on each person, and they also just they respect our culture and social structure. So Muslim in Japan so far are good. You know, I've actually heard that in order to talk to Muslims in Middle East, you actually have to prepare a translator, like a cultural translator of like Muslims, like someone Muslim. You have to have this one cushion and talk to the Middle East person because the culture is just so different, you know. But Muslim in Asia, they're good people mostly. Yeah. I don't know why you care about this live stream then. Why are you here? Yeah. The world police. We never asked you though. It's like the whole world, like especially if you look at it's so tricky when you look at America if you're American, but look at Europe. Europe colonized all these countries, and now they have immigrant issues. Why? Because those people that they colonized back in the day can speak your language. It's all coming back to you. So I don't know why you would complain about the current situation that way. Like I never talk negatively about America now or the state that we are in. I am very frustrated that we can't even revise the constitution, we can't even have the military and blah blah blah. But it's because of us, because our country didn't win the war. That's the hard truth. And we just didn't have enough power, and there are consequences that we have to pay. The generation today have to deal with what is left from the past generations. And so yeah, just accept the history, man. And if this live stream doesn't make you feel good, then just don't waste your time, because just because somebody complains, I'm not gonna change. Like, how would I change? Seriously. I'm the most determined person in Japan. So, okay. I know that I shouldn't react, but it's just so funny. Like, why? What are you doing, man? Life is short. Okay. Yoko, America and Japan should go to war with China. Yeah, it's bound to happen. For that, Japan needs to have a military. Yes. And only thing that we need is a system, though, political system, because we do have the power and technology. Like it's so interesting that we recognize Japan's self-defense force as defense force, like not military, but we often see like when foreign media reports it's military. And I'm like, we don't have the military, you know. But so yeah, all we need to do is the law and constitution. So anyway, thank you guys so much for sticking with me. Sorry that I was late again, but I expect to talk to you in a week, okay? Yeah, I should be okay. Okay, thank you guys. Wherever you're from, have a nice day or good night, okay? The US didn't colonize like the Europeans did. Yeah. Like you guys got independent. I need to learn about American history too. Good night. Good night, guys. Good night. Good night, good night. Oh, what? At the end, I got is that one? Thank you. Have to leave now. Have a great Sunday. Thank you, you too. Thank you for the super chat. Hope to see you all again. Okay. Just reading everything. Yoko stay. No, I have to go. Okay. Oh, and I have a gaming channel too, listed below in the comment, not comment section. It's a description box, and yeah, I'll be posting something soon in Japanese though. But if you miss me, you can make Gundams. Okay. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. And then follow me on Twitter. I'll run a Miyako. Okay. Okay. I'm just going through. Yeah. No, I can't say. New Korean friend. Oh, new Korean friend. Cool. Yeah. Okay, thank you guys. I will talk to you soon. Okay, if you miss me, follow me on Twitter at randomyoko, and I'm gonna cue the outro and go. Okay, so thank you again, and yeah, check out my Patreon too. Okay, bye bye.